Have you ever loved someone? Nagmahal ka na ba? Lahat naman siguro tayo, no? Mapa kaibigan, family, and special someone. But at the same time, parang ikaw yung lagi nasasaktan. Kayo din ba? Yung tipong ilang beses ka nang umintindi, ilang beses ka nang nagpatawad, at ilang beses ka nang nagbigay ng chance. Pero paulit-ulit at paulit-ulit pa rin, same things happen. So, mapapaisip ka na lang na parang hanggang kailan ba ako kailangan magbigay ng chance. Is loving someone allowing them to keep on hurting us? For a long time, I thought loving people meant being patient with them no matter what. Talagang bigyan mo ng maraming chance, magiging patient ka sa kanila, antayin mo sila magbago. Yung kahit nasasaktan ka na, kahit parang napaka-unfair na, parang bakit ikaw na lang lagi nag-a-adjust? But as I got older, and as life humbled me in many ways, I realized something very important. You can love someone and still set boundaries. This boundaries is so big for me because hindi ako nagsaset ng boundaries before. And I don't even know what boundaries is. And I think one of the biggest mistakes we make in a relationship, kahit anong relationship pa to, is confusing love with tolerance. Yung akala natin, kapag mahal natin yung isang tao, kailangan natin tanggapin lahat. Lahat. And sinasabi natin sa sarili natin, minsan ginagaslight pa natin yung sarili natin na baka ganun lang talaga siya, baka nagkamali lang siya, magbabago naman siya. But there's a difference between understanding someone and allowing someone to keep hurting us. Because kapag paulit-ulit itong behavior na to, hindi na siya yung simpleng pagkakamali lang eh. It becomes a pattern. Yung paulit-ulit, nagiging pattern na siya. And love should never protect a pattern. It should never protect a pattern that keeps destroying our peace. And don't get me wrong, I give chances. I still believe in forgiving people, of course, giving chances multiple times. Kasi lahat naman tayo nagkakamali eh. Lahat tayo, we fall short. May mga moments talagang, alam mo yun. But there's a difference between grace and enabling cycle. Because when someone keeps doing the same thing to you again and again and again, well, at some point, you have to ask yourself, are we helping this person grow? Or are we just helping them? And letting them know that it's okay to keep hurting us. Parang, okay lang, sige, saktan mo lang ako. Sometimes it's painful when we realize that, di ba? And that was a big lesson for me because as a Christian, naruan ako na forgiveness is very important. Totoo naman yun. But forgiveness and boundaries are not enemies. We can forgive someone in our heart and still decide na hindi na natin dapat i-allow pa yung same access na meron sila sa buhay natin. Ayun, forgiveness heals our heart, but boundaries protect our peace. Kasi, alam mo na yung paulit-ulit na nga, and then you still giving us the same access sa buhay natin, and they thought that it's okay to do the same thing over and over. Kasi, paulit-ulit din naman natin sila binibigyan ng chance eh. Minsan, parang wala lang sa kanila yun, di ba? Yun yung masakit. Yung parang, ewan ko ha, ako na-experience yun na to na someone hurts you, and they say sorry, and they promise na magbabago sila. And then, nagbago sila for few days, weeks. But, after some time, the same behavior comes back. And then, eventually, you will just realize something na yung pagbabago, hindi siya nanggagaling lang dapat sa salita eh. Hindi siya, it doesn't show in words. Real change shows in patterns. So, at some point, we stop listening to apologies. But, we have to start watching actions. Kung talagang may pagbabago ba? At consistent ba yung pagbabago? Di ba? And when you start setting boundaries, mami-misunderstand ka naman nila na ikaw, nagbago ka na, naging cold ka na, hindi ka na katulad ng dati. Minsan mayabang ka na kapag nag-set ka ng boundaries. And that can hurt, especially if you truly care about them. But boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries are protection. Protection to our peace, to our emotional health, to our future. And that's, honestly, sometimes boundaries also protects the relationship from becoming completely toxic. So, kailangan matuto tayo mag-set ng boundaries. Kasi ayaw naman natin na mag-stuck dun sa toxic relationship, di ba? When I was younger, I thought love meant always staying available. Laging yes. Always saying yes, always understanding, always adjusting. But now, I see love differently. Sometimes love says, I care about you, but I cannot allow this behavior anymore. Diba? Kasi nakakapagod yun. And we are just tolerating them, and unfair yun para sa atin. That we are allowing ourselves to be hurt by other people. Because real love does not ignore what is destroying people. Real love acknowledges it. And to be honest, it was not really easy, I know. I'm the type of person who tries to understand people and always think that maybe they're just going through something. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe they will change if I will just stay patient. Diba? Yung parang kailangan ko pang pagtiisan. Kailangan ko pang mag-antay para magbago sila. But not everyone changes just because we are patient. Sometimes people only change when they face consequences. Kapag, alam mo yun, kapag naharap na nila, na-experience na nila ng mga consequences ng mga ginagawa nila. So if you're watching this and there's a person or someone in your life who keeps hurting you, let me ask you an honest question. Ilang beses ka nang nagbigay ng chance? Ilang beses mo nang sinabi sa kanya kung ano yung nararamdaman mo? At ilang beses mo na rin kinonvince yung sarili mo na baka this time magbago. Well, sipin mo. Because love should not feel like you are constantly begging for a basic respect. You know, I still believe in love. I still believe in forgiveness and giving chances. But I also believe that loving others should never mean losing yourself in the process. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to step back. Not because you hate that person, but because you finally love yourself enough to say, this cycle has to stop. You can wish people well, of course. You can pray for them. You can still care about them in a distance. And you can also choose peace. Because love with wisdom has boundaries. And sometimes those boundaries are very thing that protects our heart. And maybe today, someone needed to hear this. That you can love people, but you are not required to keep allowing the same wounds over and over again. And sometimes, choosing peace is also an act of love. Thank you for watching.